On tonight's programme, after floods left devastation over the weekend, communities pull together as the clean-up continues. Also on the programme, Megan died from meningitis at just 18. Now her parents are calling for children to be vaccinated against the disease. Plus, Wales get ready for a Crunch World Cup qualifier.
And I don't get to say this often, but join me and Michael Portillo, this is Michael Portillo, as 200 years worth of the railways arrives by train here in Llandudno.
Hello, good evening. The clean-up continues in Monmouth tonight after the town was hit by devastating flooding. A major incident was declared after the River Monnow reached record levels and burst its banks, flooding homes, businesses and leaving people stranded. Well, Mike Griffiths is in the town for us tonight. Mike, an incredibly difficult time for people, but the community has really pulled together, hasn't it?
That's right, Jonathan. We thought we'd actually start tonight by showing you the scale of that community response. We're here in the Methodist Church in Monmouth, which has become the focal point for gathering food, for clothing, for essential supplies for the many people who've been affected by Saturday's flood. They've had an extraordinary response from across the community and much, much further afield. But whilst this extraordinarily positive thing has been happening, there's also been the sheer aftermath and implications of dealing with a sudden and unexpected flood over the weekend, and it's an effort that's still continuing today and in the days ahead. The terrible power of a flood unleashed on a market town. This was Monmouth on Saturday morning in the wake of Storm Claudia. The waters hit in the early hours, bringing sudden devastation to homes and businesses nearby. Today, what should have been the start of a new week, emergency services and volunteers dealt with the aftermath.
8th night that we've been open. Just had a really successful evening with Monmouth Cricket Club, 52 diners up in the Monnow Suite, 30 diners down in the garden room. Bar was packed with locals, and fortunately we were still here after the clearing up, and then water started coming through the cellar door. Thought we'd cleared that, managed to clear this room, and then water started coming through the front door. So in the end, it was kind of waist high, literally waist high. None of the kitchen equipment can be saved. That's all brand new. And then we ring the insurance company this morning, and in the small print, we're not covered for floods. Yeah, quite devastating for us. The community spirit has been excellent. Yesterday I put a plea out on Facebook for people to come and help us. Within 10 minutes I probably had 30 people here. Today they're continuing to come and help out.
We simply couldn't have stood here 2 days ago because of the sheer volume of water that was still here. And it's only today that some places are really finding out the full extent of what they've lost. As this mammoth clear-up continues, people are asking how it happened in the first place and how it can be stopped from happening again. Natural Resources Wales says river levels on the Monnow were the highest ever recorded. It's defended the flood alerts and warnings it issued.
We've had National Grid in, we've had the firemen in. We've got our electric meter guy, because that's our problem. Our gas and electric meters were all flooded out. As long as I can get gas and electric, we can work from the middle floor because it hasn't been affected. The sooner I can get open, we're cracking on. Like, I've got employees here, my best friends are here. You've just got to keep going. Like me and my mum, we've had hardly any sleep over the last, 2 nights. But yeah, just doers. Everyone just got to chip in and crack on.
Meanwhile, the Welsh Government says it's spending £77 million on flood protection across Wales this year. ITV News understands it is expected to announce specific support for Monmouth and other areas tomorrow.
People want answers because they'll be anxious about this happening again. I mean, we need immediate support. The businesses are going to need immediate support, especially now, close to Christmas. It's going to need a comprehensive sort of package, and because there are, real life tragedies around this. Many people might not have insurance. Many businesses have huge excess.
Monmouth is a town proud of its history and independent character. After the clean-up is done, people hope lessons will be learnt and want desperately to get back on their feet. Well, there'll be many of those questions continuing to be answered in the weeks ahead. Well, let's turn, though, to that immediate community support and the sheer scale of it. Bear in mind, lots of this has gone out already and it's still been replenished. Well, Councillor David Evans, you're town councillor here, and you're one of the team who've been overseeing this. I mean, what a difficult time, but great encouragement.
What amazing response. The community have really stepped up. They've come forward. They've donated so much clothing that we've actually been overrun. We are seeing more of it going, and anyone who's been affected, please come up. We're going to open again. We'll open the doors at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Come and take what you want. Come and take what you need. It's here. The people of the town have stepped up. They've given it to us for you. Come and take it, because there's just masses. You can see here how much there is. It's incredible, the support that we've been given.
Because there have been people who had to leave their homes 1 a.m, didn't they, and have left with not very much and very little remaining. Yes,
one of the first people that we were able to get out, their mother-in-law was 102, evacuated in a nightie and wellies. So we were able to provide her with warm clothing, blankets to wrap around her to keep her warm in a new location. But we've also been getting magnificent donations. People have thought about every single thing that people might need.
And people have been getting in touch, haven't they? Not just from around Monmouthshire, but from quite a long way away.
This is global. We've had people calling us from Australia. It's been on their main news. It's really gone viral. We're getting some great contributions in terms of donations. Our mayor set up a Just Giving page, so if anybody cannot come and help us here, they can go on to Just Giving and look for Monmouth Mayor or search
That's very
floods.
welcome, isn't it? Because I mean, that succeeded. I was really struck today. You know, we've been here while people have been trying to get on with the clear up, but just in every shop that we went to, people were coming in every couple of minutes saying, "Is there something I can do? Do you need a dehumidifier? Do you need the floor mopped?" I mean, that must be a big help to people at a horrible time.
My fellow councillors, each one have gone to their wards if affected. Others who are in wards that haven't been affected are out on the grounds. They're taking brushes and mops and whatever a business needs. But we're going to move on to the residents. We've got the businesses up, and some of them are now running again. Very short time scale to get them up and running.
Well, David,
we're moving to the residents.
Thank you for having us here. There's lots more to be done, but this is comfort to people at a difficult time. Thank you. Well, as we said, in the weeks to come, there'll be more examination of what circumstances led to this, but this kind of support will be help to people at the worst possible time.
Mike Griffiths in Monmouth, thanks very much indeed. Elsewhere this evening, a teenager has appeared in court charged with the murder of a 17-year-old girl. Cameron Cheng is accused of killing Lainey Williams in Blackwood last week. The 18-year-old is also charged with the attempted murder of 38-year-old Rhiann Stevens and possession of a bladed article. Tributes have been paid to a woman who was found dead in a boatyard in Cardigan. Emergency services were called to Netpool boatyards, where Karina Baker was found dead shortly after midday on Saturday. Her family has said the 21-year-old will be greatly missed, and they were blessed to have known her. A 29-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder, and investigations are continuing. An inquest has opened into the death of a 9-month-old baby killed in an XL bully attack. Jonty Williams Bluck was bitten by the family pet while staying at his father's home in Roggett earlier this month. Hamish Ausgerry has the latest from our newsroom.
Well, John, the opening of the inquest meant we learnt the name of the baby who was killed in the attack early this month. Jonty William Bluck was just 9 months old when he was bitten by the family pet while staying at his father's home, as you said, near Roggett in Caldecott. Area Coroner Rose Farmer told the court he was taken to the Grange University Hospital but died sadly prior to his arrival. A provisional cause of death was given today as a compressive head injury consistent with a dog bite. The dog in question was a 6-year-old XL bully which was registered with the government and had the relevant exemption certificate. You might remember since February last year it's been a criminal offence to own an XL bully without one of those. 61,000 applications were made before the deadline to have one of those exemptions for an XL bully. Following his death, a man in his 30s and a woman in her 20s from Roggett were arrested on suspicion of being in charge of a dog dangerously out of control, causing injury resulting in death. Both people were also arrested on suspicion of child neglect. They were later released on police bail. Following the attack, the XL bully in question has been destroyed. The inquest into Jonty Bluck's death was adjourned until early August next year while police inquiries continue. John.
Hamish Auskerry in our Cardiff newsroom, thanks very much indeed. Well, still to come, Ruth, how is the weather looking this week?
Well, good news, I am sure. It is much calmer, but much colder too. And it seems the weather at last is back on track, Rob.
Ruth, it's officially freezing because I've got my long coat on, but if you've ever wondered how on earth do you, travel through 200 years worth of railway history, you put it all on one very big train.
But first tonight, the family of a girl who died from meningitis B are calling for all children to be vaccinated against that specific strain of the disease. Megan Draper was in her first year of university when she became seriously ill. Her parents have now launched a petition calling for more people to be vaccinated. Marie-Claire Carey-Jones has more.
Always smiling. That's how Meg Draper's family and friends will remember her.
I know all parents would gush about their children, but Meg was beautiful. And not only just beautiful on the outside, she was just beautiful on the inside. She was just so kind, caring.
Just everywhere she went, everywhere, and just seemed to absolutely love her.
In September, Meg started a physiotherapy course at Bournemouth University, where she joined the netball and swimming teams. But 5 weeks later, Meg contracted meningitis and died.
Afterwards, we found out that Meg wasn't actually vaccinated against the strain of meningitis that she ended up dying from. So we knew that she'd been vaccinated against meningitis in school, and just as you would, you've been told your child's vaccinated against meningitis, but we've later found out that the strain that Meg died from, she wasn't vaccinated against, and we were just completely unaware.
Meg died from meningitis B, a strain of meningitis that isn't available on the NHS for anyone born before 2015, although babies under the age of 1 are being vaccinated. Now, Meg's parents want to raise awareness of that issue, and they're supporting the Meningitis Now campaign, calling for those most at risk of meningitis B, such as students, to be vaccinated.
This campaign, we're calling it No Plan B for Men B. Because we think it's not acceptable that there are these youngsters out there, these student-age young adults, who are unnecessarily at risk of getting meningitis because a vaccine that is available simply isn't available to them on the NHS. We'd love to see the government introduce that vaccine in order to help save lives.
In a statement, the Welsh Government says it takes advice on its vaccines programmes from the Joint Committee on Vaccine and Immunisations, which it says advises them on safety and vaccination schedules. But Lee and Helen believe vaccination is the key.
She went off to university and she was sporty, fit, young and healthy. We never expected this to happen, and when it has, to then find out that there is a vaccine that she could have had that would mean she was still here, it's just so difficult to digest.
They now hope Meg's story will help to save the lives of others. Marie-Claire Carey-Jones, ITV News.
Well, it was a busy weekend for sport. Let's take a look.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Cymru Wales Sports Report.
Well, it's not often I get to say this. 2 wins for Wales, Matt.
Some good news, John, to talk about. And let's start then with the football. Craig Bellamy's side overcame Liechtenstein 1-0 on Saturday, and tomorrow night they welcome North Macedonia to the Cardiff City Stadium. It's the end of a long World Cup qualifying campaign that hasn't really gone to script. Wales do still have the slimmest of hopes of automatic qualification for next year's tournament, but in reality, it's now all about giving themselves the best possible chance in the playoffs. Back in March, Wales kicked off their World Cup qualifiers full of hope and optimism. But as they head into the final game of this campaign, much is still uncertain. With a series of unlikely results, Wales could still automatically qualify for next year's World Cup. But the more likely route is via the two-game playoff system, and a win over North Macedonia tomorrow night would guarantee them a home semi-final.
You know, come on, to finish second and have a home game, it's huge, because if we finish fourth, the away game and the teams that are in those games, and I have to be honest, playing at home, and just my experience of watching Wales down the years and being able to qualify for major tournaments through the playoffs and being at home, it's a huge advantage for us.
With Ben Davies injured and Ethan Ampadu suspended, Harry Wilson will captain his country for the first time.
Yeah, it's a big honour for me. He said I feel like I'm one of the senior players now. So yeah, it's something that I've dreamt about for a long time. So to finally be given the chance to lead us out tomorrow night for our country, like I said, massive honour and something I'm really looking forward to.
More was expected from this campaign. Belgium, the group favourites, have slipped up enough times to give the chasing pack hope. But Wales have failed to take those chances, so there is pressure heading into the final match.
I like the fact that we got something on this game. I like the fact that Liechtenstein, we had something on that game. Belgium, we had something on that game. Because it's a new experience for me, because when I was playing, last 3-4 games, I had nothing to play for. So this is quite nice.
This might not be the situation that Wales wanted to find themselves in. But win tomorrow night, and all of that hope and optimism will return ahead of next year's World Cup playoffs.
And more good news, Matt. An end to that record-breaking run of defeats.
Yes, just. Only just. Captain Dewi Lake says Saturday's nail-biting win against Japan gives Wales a massive stepping stone. A late Jared Evans penalty gave Steve Tandy his first win as Wales boss and ended their 10-match losing string of results on home soil. But it was a really nervy evening at the Principality Stadium, and there is still plenty of work to be done.
I was expecting more from our performance and more of a ruthless nature to what we want to do. I totally understand that we want to grow, and we are growing, and I do believe when I look back there'll be lots of good stuff, because it is through that red card period I thought the boys were standing. There's still a lot of real good physicality, the maul.
There's definitely more we can do to make games easier for ourselves. I think we're making life very tough at the minute around like discipline, maybe not executing chances.
And Scarlet centre Joe Roberts and Ospreys prop Ben Warren have been called up. And this weekend, John, it's just the very small matter of the All Blacks in Cardiff.
Matt, thanks very much indeed. You're watching Wales at 6. It is 18 minutes past the hour. A reminder of our top story. Clean-up efforts are continuing in Monmouth after the town was hit by devastating flooding over the weekend. A major incident was declared after the River Monnow reached record levels and burst its banks, leaving homes and businesses flooded.
Salvage what we can, and keep going. Reinvent and keep going. I don't see what other options there are. You just got to keep building.
And still to come on the ITV Evening News.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the government outlined their latest plan to tackle illegal immigration. Our encounter with the Madeleine McCann suspect, Christian Brutner, living in German woods following his prison release. The clear-up after Storm Claudia continues just as the first cold snap arrives. And Bridget in bronze, the much-loved character, gets her own statue. Join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Now, it's 10 years since Ponty Lido reopened to the public after a multi-million-pound restoration. Since then, an impressive 850,000 people have paid a visit, with this year seeing record numbers too. Sophia Lewis joined an early morning session to find out why it's so popular with swimmers, divers and dippers.
The first dip of the day in Ponty's own slice of paradise. Even the dawn wake-up hasn't deterred this crowd from taking the plunge. Some for the very first time.
I've lived in Ponty for 22 years, but I've never come, and I always thought, oh, the Lido, you know. But me and my sister are insomniac, so we thought, right, we'll give her a whirl. The first morning session, 6:30, it's been a revelation. And the benefits have been extraordinary. I mean, I've lost 3 stone over the summer just from doing the swimming every day.
There's been almost a century of swimming history here, but Ponty Lido is as popular as ever. This year, it welcomed over 100,000 people. For Gillian, this place holds the happiest of memories.
I used to come when it was the old pool, before it fell into disrepair. I taught my children and brought my grandchildren here to swim as well. And of course, before that, I used to come and use it myself. The air, the freedom, I've swum here in pouring rain, I've swum in snow, sleet, wind. Nothing puts me off. I'm not a warm weather swimmer. I come whatever the weather.
But it hasn't always been the destination that it is today. For decades, it was left derelict before a multi-million-pound renovation saw it restored to its former glory. Though there have been some challenges along the way too.
Definitely ups and downs. We've had Storm Dennis, which basically come through the building about 4 foot high all the way through the complex, and for us we had a year out then where we had to renovate the place again. But obviously that's through the commitment of the people employed here and on the Taff County Borough South to get it back up and running to the standard it is now.
With the main season over for another year, the temperature is turned down, ready for those brave cold water dippers. But for others, the countdown to next summer has already begun. Sophia Lewis, ITV News.
And you can see more of Sophia's full reports and plenty more content from across Wales on ITVX. You can find us by choosing categories, then news and select Wales. Well, from one anniversary to another, as this year marks 200 years since the world's first steam-powered passenger railway journey. To celebrate, a special exhibition train is touring the UK and has pulled into Llandudno station, where Rob Shelley is for us tonight. Rob, 2 centuries of trains, you must be in your element.
Well, John, you join us at the end of the line. Here's a first for ITV Wales. Let's try some live train spotting. Oh, there's one. Yeah, this is the Rail 200 train. How on earth do you pack 2 centuries of something that changed lives completely? On this train, it will tell you, for example, mail order, which started in mid-Wales in Newtown. That only happened because of the train. Let's face it, the interweb is full of mail order now. Fish and chip shops only exist because you could get hygienic, chilled fish to chippies. So basically, this thing has changed an awful lot of lives. We've been on board to find out more. This weekend, 2 large red engines, called Michael and Karen, wandered into Platform 1 of Llandudno railway station, bringing with them not only 200 years' worth of history, but also Britain's fastest and probably narrowest museum. How on earth do you fit 200 years' worth of history into one slightly long train?
I say, fortunately, that wasn't my job.
But it does happen to be all very apt that this train's only stop in Wales does happen to be beside the sea. Without the railways, no seaside resorts.
Indeed, no, it's contributed enormously to tourism. It's Llandudno itself, it was a few houses and a church, I think, until the railways got here, and then bang, bang.
But even if you aren't busy building HS2.5 with your bare hands, it is all very interactive. Nothing like hands-on experience because you got to punch your own ticket. In the space of just 1 carriage, you can travel past the fact that It's exactly the same time right now in Swansea and Llandudno because the railways made us standardise the clocks. And behind absolutely everything else, those stories of us. Describe your first railway memories, and someone's put, when I went to England, with a rather original spelling, I was scared because the train was fast. Oh, they've got over that one anyway.
We often talk about how the railway is just track and train. In fact, it's actually people who built the railway. So we're here to honour their legacy. We're here to celebrate the current staff of the railway. We're also here to inspire those children as well who could be our future workforce.
What does this do, Alex?
You build up the landscape, if you like, so that you allow the trains and the vehicles to run.
Maybe this inspiration thing is actually working. 200 years old. People will be doing this in another 200 years. Probably not me or you, but someone will.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, in Wales, the railways actually started in Merthyr in 1804, but we're just far too modest to mention the fact we got there first. And talking of modesty, Michael Portillo has a train named after him. I have to say, slightly jealous. Yeah? Slightly jealous here.
Oh, you need to find a couple of people and get a couple of trains sorted for you somewhere else.
The History Express is only here for one more day, and then Michael and Karen, the useful red engines, chuff away from Wales. Yep, as from, well, Tuesday night, this deserts us for Somerset, but that legacy of railways and Wales lives on. So many children here today, utterly enjoying it, building bridges, working out how to run a railway. Frankly, the future of engineering is probably safe here in Llandudno.
Rob, we knew you'd enjoy yourself. Thank you very much indeed. Well, after a weekend of wet weather, thankfully it was a little drier and brighter out there today. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up with Ruth.
I'm still intrigued as to the fish and chips claim, to be honest, but there we go.
It's all true. It's all true.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have noticed it's been a much calmer day out there today, hasn't it? People in Monmouth, I know, desperate for something a little bit sunnier today, and that's exactly what we've got. In fact, that's exactly what we're going to get for the next few days too. Dry with plenty of sunshine, but the real feature, you'll notice, I'm sure, are the temperatures already much colder out there. Frost and ice overnight, and yes, we could well see some sleet and even snow falling over the hills and mountains. And if we play the bigger picture through, you can see exactly why. We've got Arctic air and low pressure. So rain, where it hits cold air at this time of the year, tends to fall as rain and then snow. Now, it doesn't take much difference in terms of temperature to make the difference between rain and snow, but at the moment, it looks set that the snow will fall over Eryri Banna Brycheiniog. Nothing expected, though, to be too troublesome, so don't panic. Here are the details.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Well, I'm sure you will have noticed it is bitterly cold out there at the moment, with frost already forming in more sheltered rural spots. As we head through into the second part of the night, the cloud will build a little bit and we'll see a few showers just starting to work their way into the north, possibly then clipping down across the South Wales coast. But temperatures, particularly in more sheltered spots, likely to dip to just below the freezing mark. So if we do see a few showers, just be careful. The likelihood is we could also see some icy patches developing. So a bitterly cold, frosty start to tomorrow morning. It sounds like a winter's tale, doesn't it? But again, you'll see those showers really pepping up the pace. And as that cold air hits those showers, this is where we are likely to see some sleet and snow, most likely over the hills and mountains. Dry with bright spells in between those showers, and temperatures much like today, struggling to get much above 7 or 8 degrees tomorrow. So feeling bitterly cold with a little bit more in the way of a breeze too. So through Tuesday evening then, this is where those showers will really pep up the pace, and the possibility as we head into the overnight stretch that we could see a little bit more in the way of snow starting to sink its way in. So it doesn't take much to turn rain into snow, snow back into rain. So at the moment it's very hit and miss, but higher ground is where we're most likely to see those snow showers. But even if we do see snow falling and settling, it's not likely to hang around for too long because the showers will ease, possibly just stubbornly confined out towards parts of the southwest, the return of our old friend called the Pembrokeshire Dangler. Further inland, though, lots of dry and bright weather, so the snow shouldn't be too much of an issue. It is going to feel bitterly cold throughout, and that chilly theme remains then as we head through towards the end of the week.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Never mind autumn, we've stepped right into winter, John.
Can we just, Ruth? Thanks very much. Hamish is back with a late update, but from all of us on the programme, until tomorrow, bye-bye.